Our tastes in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Why? I never started.
Welcome back. Your mother ate my dog, the podcast, episode 59. 59. Went away from 60.
So
It's pretty
close.
exciting.
It's very exciting.
You get to pick the 60th movie.
Do.
No pressure.
None at all.
So this week we're going to talk about the movie The Foreigner, which is a Jackie Chan movie, which is not important to anybody else, but it does call back to our past. I like to do that. I like to call back to our past in stuff. Who am I? Big Jackie Chan guys.
Big time.
But how I got here was a complicated mess. And I would like to explain that.
Please do.
If I may. So last week, episode 59, or 58, ahead of ourselves here, 58, The Faculty. I promised that I would choose a movie based off of a box office game that we play.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did it, and none of the movies worked. Philadelphia, not a chance. And then I was like, okay, I left the podcast and I was all broken, and I really wanted to pick a good movie. So then I was like, you know what? We'll do the next day's game and pick a movie from that. But that also failed. There were no good options in that one. So then I was like, oh no. Is this the end of the podcast? Your Mother Ate My Dog? Starring Josh and Jesse. And then I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to persevere. We're going to do the box office game one more time. And it gave me The Foreigner. It was the fifth movie of the week for that week, whatever, some week in 2017. And I had recently had a dream about Pierce Brosnan, so this all worked out. The Foreigner.
Movie of the week.
The podcast movie of the week. Yeah, do you have like another movie of the week?
I haven't been. I watched a movie. I haven't been feeling too well the last couple of days, but I'm on the up and up. But I had some time at home. I watched a movie called The Sting. It won the Oscar for Best Picture, I think, in '72, maybe, or something. Robert Redford.
Al Pacino.
No, Robert Redford and Paul Newman. It's been on my list a while. It's pretty good. So we'll call that the movie of the week.
Have you ever had Paul Newman's salsas or salad dressings?
Salad dressing, yes. I think I have one of his in my fridge right now.
Oh, 100% proceeds to charity.
That's true.
I've stopped writing down the movies that I watch, which might be a mistake. So I watched a movie this weekend, but I cannot remember what it was.
Well, it must have been really good.
Yeah, maybe it'll come to me, but it probably won't. Foreigner. Okay, well, what else can we talk about? Oh yeah. Okay, so there is huge news that came down the pipeline. What huge news do you think I'm talking about?
Does it have to do with where I get my movies sometimes?
Yeah, how are you going to watch movies once it closes in September?
Well, for those who don't know, Pick a Flick, the rental video place that I've been getting my movies, or most of my movies for the podcast this year, is indeed closing in September. The last video rental place in the city. And the whole reason I was going there was because it was a small business. And I guess my business didn't help. Of course, just one guy isn't going to help. But yeah, it's a little bit sad. It's not really. It's not like a place I necessarily like grew up on or anything like that. There's no nostalgia there, but it is nice. It was just something comforting about having a video rental place in town. But we can no longer say that come September.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't we get our monies together
Mm-hmm.
and we buy all of his stock
Okay.
and we start our own movie, our own movie rental place. But we also have a room. So we obviously can't do it in that same place because their lease sounds like it's going to be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a, oh, I don't even know why. It's like, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, really. Well, not really, but we find a place, we get some cheap rent, and we run our own movie rental place. Wouldn't that be a twist?
You said there was a room. What do you mean? There's a room?
Oh, I meant like, okay, so we get a place, we rent a place, but we have a podcast room.
Ah.
So like a room separate where we do our podcasting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't see what could possibly go wrong buying out a business that's going out of business because the demand just isn't there, and then just creating the same business again. I don't see what could go wrong.
We get Greg in this, we get Ben in this, and we lose money together.
So the pain of the money loss isn't as bad. It's spread amongst 4 people instead of 2.
We rent out movies, but we can also sell books.
We could
Maybe
sell books,
even
and
Funko Pops.
there's the one thing that Pick a Flick was lacking is, if you think of like old video stores, there's like the section in the back with like the curtain. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you want to go 18 plus.
Yeah, we could have the podcast room could be half 18 plus films and half the podcast room.
Well, there was the by the Wendy's off of Bay there was that store.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer, I think it's an aquarium store now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there used to be, I don't know if they sold, I think they sold movies.
Well, you would know. You don't have to hide it.
Well, I'd never been in there. I was very curious.
You knew its location, so
yeah, because I was, over at Wendy's one night. Well, it's late, and I'm like, oh, they had the neon sign.
You see, you walked in, and the rest is history.
Okay, well, is the movie that you're picking for next week, the big 6-0, is it a pick a flick? Do you have to rent the movie, or do you even know?
As far as I know, you'd probably have to rent it. I'm going to try to rent all the movies up until it's closing from them. But yes, as far as I know, you're going to have to rent it. I have 2 in mind, and I'm going to ask you a question, and that's going to help decide which one I pick.
Okay. Well, when you go in there, you should inquire about how much he wants for all of his movies, and then from there we can be like, well, like, do we really? Because like my limit's probably 1,000. If he wants like 1,500, I can maybe swing it.
Okay. He does have like 30,000 movies there or something.
It's a lot, yeah. But his website's kind of old. We just gotta modernize stuff. Maybe put a pinball machine. Like in those corner stores when they have like slushy machines.
Right.
Get a slushy machine in there.
Okay. Well, I don't see.
Get rid of most of the movies. Get rid of like half the movies.
Right. Get rid of them. Buy the movies and then get rid of them, and then create a XXX section, pinballs, and a slushy machine, and a podcast room. And
move it. Yeah, we'll have to move it because the parking situation is not very good over there.
Right.
It's a bit tight.
Okay.
Well, change the name of the movie. It will have to be like Your Mother Ate My Dog, the movie store.
Right. And everyone will, I mean, just like with our podcast, they go, what do they do? Like, what's it about? And that's what they'll do about our video store. Your mother ate my dog. What's that? And then just be like, it's like some super referential quote that no one's going to know.
Well, they'll have to come in and ask the question then, and we'll be like, "Oh, it's from this movie. Do you want to rent it? We have a copy.
Right. That's how we get them.
We also have other movies."
We should just like every section of our website, instead of it being like gallery or like about us, we just put quotes from like, like cat dead, details later. And they go, what the hell does that mean? And it's like, oh, I'm so glad you asked. It's from a movie. You got to rent it to understand. And that's how we get them.
I don't know if I'd like to work in a movie store. I definitely don't want to quit my job.
Right.
So that's something we'll have to think about.
Okay.
We hire some workers.
Yeah, we could hire some people, some ne'er-do-wells. No problem.
Minimum wage is quite expensive now, though.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll pay them in store credit.
Anyways, you sound good. Sorry about your sickness.
Oh, that's okay. I'm on the up and up. I'm feeling a bit better.
Was it a stomach thing?
No, it was more like flu type stuff. Bad headache, but I'm it's all good now.
Do you remember COVID?
I remember COVID. Yep.
Wild times. We watch a lot of reality television,
Mm-hmm.
and right now we're watching a show from that was filmed in 2020, and then just seeing people all concerned about COVID. What's this? But little do they know what it is. We know
So naive.
because this is our lives. Anyways, let's get to the movie.
Let's do it.
The Foreigner, not to be confused with The Faculty, which was last week's movie.
Mm-hmm.
The F word is kind of what we're going with these days, which I guess is my fault.
Yeah, but what can you do? It'll confuse people. But
8 of the last, well, I guess 7 of the last 10 movies have all started with the.
Mm-hmm.
The Chronicles of Riddick, The Craft, The House, The Faculty, and The Foreigner. So that's fun.
That's a good theme.
Yeah, cool themes. Jackie Chan. Oh, this movie was wild. It was based off of a book, a 1992 novel called The Chinaman.
Oh,
which is why they called him the Chinaman so much. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did notice. Mm-hmm.
I am like, this seems insane that they're doing this in a 2017 movie. I'm pretty sure that it was like current times. Like this wasn't a movie from the past.
Right.
I mean, their cell phones and they look pretty dated, but Jackie Chan, they should have been called the Chinaman, but they obviously couldn't. They couldn't call this movie the Chinaman.
No, that's probably not a great idea.
How did you like Mr. Chan's performance or his character?
Well, I love Jackie Chan, so perhaps I'm a little biased, but I did like his performance. It was more of like a leaning towards his showing off his dramatic chops, and not as much, his martial arts, if you will. But it was actually nice seeing a more dramatic side of his acting repertoire, if you will. I thought he did pretty well. I haven't seen a ton of movies where that really comes into play that to this extent, I guess.
I thought it was pretty like a one-note performance.
That is true. That is true.
There were some fight scenes.
I suspect. I suspect. One thing I know about Jackie Chan is he does all his own stunts, right? but I felt like he didn't do it all of his own stunts in this one. Maybe I'm wrong.
Um, well, I'm sure maybe we'll find out if we if we read stuff about it. But I mean, this movie came out 6 years ago, so he was in his early to mid 60s at the time.
Right. So a little old to be doing your own stunts at this point. You could put the pride away and maybe let some younger chap do all the falling and head hitting and so on. But it just felt like I find in his movies earlier in his career when he's in these fight scenes, they make it very clear that it's him, and so there's no real like cutaway when he's falling or anything. You like see like okay, that's him, that's him. There's no cut. Whereas in this one, it was cutting away a lot, and like the face was hard to see. So that's what made me feel as though maybe he wasn't doing his own stunts.
Well, the fight scenes in this, like, they're pretty original, I thought. Um, like with any Jackie Chan movie, like they always do a very good job. Never bored with the fight scenes. The
Right.
one fight scene in particular, when like he was in the hotel or whatever, and they were coming after him, and he goes into this little hole, and then he starts like punching a hole through the ceiling to like the roof shingles,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then like the fight scene there, he did fall. I think he fell off of the where they were fighting to down below, and it didn't cut away. So I thought maybe he did that stunt.
Right.
It felt like it wasn't a different person.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm maybe I'm wrong.
Jackie Chan, though, I thought, I mean, his character could he have smiled once? I mean, I get your daughter just died, but like, lighten up a bit.
On The Foreigner 2017, there was a pole slide stunt which Chan used a double for. He still mostly does his own stunts, fights and stunts. So there was probably one or two that was a little over the top, but it seems as though he did most of them.
Interesting. One thing about this movie that I learned was that Pierce Brosnan, 007, is Irish.
Yeah, which is a weird to. I don't know. I was like, man, this Irish accent is terrible.
That's
But
exactly what I thought too. I'm like, wow, Pierce doing a Irish accent, not great, but turns out that's how he speaks.
that he is Irish. That's crazy. He just has a really pronounced accent, I suppose, or he's laying it on. I don't know. I've never heard him speak in. I've never seen him like in an interview or anything. So, but anyway, that is interesting to know. If someone were to ask me just out of, you know, Pierce Brosnan, what's his nationality? I say, oh, well, he's American. Wouldn't you?
Oh, interesting.
But I can't say I've seen him in too many things. But now that I think about it, I've seen him in Mrs. Doubtfire, and he definitely had an English accent in that movie. And then I can't really think of anything else I've seen him in.
I just thought he was British. Didn't realize he was Irish.
There you go.
The things we learn on the podcast, in the movie store. Sorry.
Yeah, in our movie store here.
Okay. Well, what do you think about the movie overall?
It was like pretty okay. It was like, an action. It was like half action, half political drama, I guess if you want to call it that. And
Hmm.
I don't know, somewhat predictable at times. Like I felt, well, I guess maybe I didn't key into this as early as the person I was watching it with did, but like, oh, his mistress is totally, um, this is Hennessy's mistress. She's totally in on it. And I was like, you know what, you're probably right. And then she was. And there was like a lot, I don't know, perhaps a little predictable, but overall, like pretty good acting. I don't know if you agree or.
Yeah, definitely no problems with the acting.
Mhm.
I didn't clue in that the mistress and then the wife were in on it, but you know, I guess people are smarter than us.
I
That's
guess
fine.
so.
The director of the movie,
Yeah.
I told you this before, but he directed the James Bond movie one of the James Bond movies that Pierce did, GoldenEye.
Hmm.
This is his first movie that he did. I'm just learning this for the first time now. This information coming from my mouth is very new to me, and it's going to be very new to you.
Yes.
This is the first movie that he's directed since The Green Lantern.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, it was like a 6 year difference,
Right.
but we watched that movie. So if you haven't already, go ahead and listen to that episode.
That's a good one. It's a classic.
Very, very early on,
It's a classic. You gotta listen.
years ago. I wonder if maybe we did it like a year ago.
That would be wild if it was a year ago today.
So you like the acting.
Yeah, the acting was pretty solid.
The movie was fine.
The premise was fairly interesting, I suppose. I mean, I feel like it just reminded me of Taken, that Liam Neeson movie, a
Never
series of
seen it.
movies. Yeah, I've never seen it either, but I know the premise,
Right, just a father who is out for revenge.
Yeah, and like right off the bat with this movie, it was very heavily laying into like, oh, here's the overprotective father. What's going to happen to his daughter? And then like it's immediately what happens. It's like, okay, well that was a little obvious. And it's like, okay, he's going to enact his revenge. I've seen this story before. So that part of it was not all that original, but it was interesting to see it sort of interweaved with the political aspect, the whole Northern Ireland thing, which I don't know. I've seen some movies about that before. Like, what's that Daniel Day-Lewis movie I've seen? One second. Daniel Day. Feel free to hold.
January 30th, 2022 is when we watched Green Lantern, and it was episode 3 of the podcast. Episode 3. This is the second movie that Jackie Chan was in with a former Bond. He was in a movie called The Cannonball Run with Roger Moore.
Okay.
Jackie
The movie I'm
Chan,
thinking. Go ahead.
you go ahead.
The movie I was thinking of was called In the Name of the Father. Unemployed young Irishman Gary Conlon, played by Daniel Day-Lewis, gets by as a petty thief in 1970s Belfast. When local IRA leaders get fed up with him, he flees to England and meets up with his friend on the same night that the IRA bombs a nearby pub, and then he gets kind of like dragged into it. I think it was him. So
It sounds like the exact same movie.
it's pretty similar. But yes, with that film, I learned a bit of that time, the whole IRA thing in the 70s and 80s. So it was nice knowing that history before watching this movie. So it was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like with some wowzers, I feel like with some political dramas, they'll say something and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? So I'll like quickly Google it while I'm watching so I can be a bit more in tune with what's going on. But I need to do that for this one. So that was good.
Would you want to go to Ireland? Sorry, the Northern Republic of Ireland?
Next year, that's Mackenzie and I are planning on going to the UK and, Ireland, Northern Ireland, that whole area.
God,
So we'll
so
be
many
going there
travel
for sure.
plans.
I know, right?
Dublin.
Belfast, Dublin. You name it, we'll be there.
Jackie Chan's character only kills the bombers, and none of the people who directly attack him or are indirectly responsible for the turn of events.
Yes, I did notice that. He's like Batman until he gets to the people that really have blood on their hands. And he does the killing.
So we'll get to the ending. But the one thing that I thought was weird was when he shows up at the end to confront Pierce, and he has a picture on his phone of him and the mistress, and then he's like, press the button, and then he just gets Pierce to press the button, and then all of a sudden that sends the picture to the internet.
Right.
It's like an old person wrote that.
Yeah. That was weird. I will agree.
Thank you.
And if he was, yeah, that part was kind of dumb. I have to agree with you on that one.
Long movie.
Fairly long. There was I suppose, there wasn't quite enough about Jackie Chan's character's Quan, about his history that like I wish I had seen a bit more as to why he's on this. Like I guess well, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. It's like, oh, he knows martial arts, and then they explain it afterwards. So, oh, that makes sense. I mean, I knew it was a Jackie Chan movie. He's probably going to know martial arts, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe more of explanation for his actions. Just because somebody, just like people, he loses his daughter, but that doesn't mean that somebody who loses their daughter is just going to go start murdering the those responsible.
Give me the names. He was very good at making bombs.
He was very good at that. He's a very sneaky boy, and very good with the chemicals and such.
He was a secondary character, though. I couldn't say that he was the star of the movie.
Yeah, yeah, that was the thing. Like I was saying, it was like definitely like two different movies in one, and it like you say, it was more one movie than the part of the movie that Jackie Chan was in. So that was a bit strange. And ultimately, he didn't really add anything to. He didn't really like push the plot all that much. I mean, if he wasn't there, the things with the bombing suspects, that all would have been resolved. They were about to get them, and then he just came in and shot them before the SWAT team, or the English equivalent of that would be. So, but yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
I would have liked to see more fight scenes, like when they were when he pretends to be a handyman,
Hmm.
goes in. More of that stuff would have been fun.
Well, I feel like that's part of, maybe he was, he's been doing these types of movies for so long. He may have been a little fed up with just doing all the martial arts and stunts and stuff. But I mean, there's no denying how good he is at it. And I guess this is more of a dramatic role. I know him a lot from his comedic roles, and then like the action
Rush
movies.
Hour, Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 3. Rush Hour 3 was an option on one of our on the box office game. Should have went with Rush Hour 3.
It's a pretty good. I'm a little underrated. I like that one. Like the tuxedo and um, Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Night and
Kung Fu Panda,
right. But
Around
anyway,
the World in 80 Days.
yep, that's another one.
Anyways, shall we get to the scores?
I'm happy to get to the scores. Let's do that.
Give me your best acting score.
Okay, I'll do that. I will say with the person who was on the screen the most, I would say probably Pierce Brosnan. I was a little distracted by his accent, but now that I've learned that he is Irish, maybe I'm not as distracted by it, knowing that information. That was hard for me to watch, but it makes sense now. I thought most of the acting was quite solid. I liked Jackie Chan's performance. I mean, it was pretty one note. He was a man on a mission. He really had only one thing in mind. Wasn't I mean, the scenes where he was truly upset, I thought were pretty believable. But those moments were not as frequent as yeah, there was a few of those moments, but mostly it was just him kind of like enacting revenge. He's just kind of like in kill mode, you know. Um, yeah, I guess with those two performances, Pierce Brosnan and Jackie Chan being like the main ones, perhaps maybe a little underwhelming. People surrounding them, I thought were pretty solid. I'd give the acting a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. Jackie Chan was one note, but that's not his fault.
It's true.
That doesn't change the acting. He did a great job. I thought Pierce, Mr. Brosnan, did a great job as well.
Okay.
People around him were good. I love a good accent. I gave it a 7.5.
Okay. That's fair.
The ending, though, I'll go first.
Okay.
I didn't like the ending as much. I'm not sure if that's how you feel as well. Very distracted by the phone stuff. But then, like, I'm not sure how the book ends. It probably ends similar. But Jackie Chan goes back to the restaurant with his, I suppose, new love, because they kind of kiss. But then the movie just kind of ends. It's like he got his revenge. He killed a bunch of people, and then now he has to go back to his life without his daughter. Which, now that I'm saying it out loud, maybe that's a good ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 7.5 as well. It was fine. Like it. Maybe I wanted more.
Right.
Because it was maybe a little predictable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was a little predictable and a little anticlimactic, perhaps. And I think I would have liked to see more of the conflict between him and Pierce Brosnan's character. Like, it wasn't very, I don't know, it wasn't very satisfying how that ended. I mean, it was nice, but it was nice seeing Quan return to the restaurant. Like a bit of a happy end, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Then why don't you give me your score out of 10 overall for the movie The Foreigner, 2017, Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan, Irish.
Very Irish. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. You think Jackie Chan, you think action movie. Perhaps it was like if there was action elements, but not entirely an action movie. Political drama action, I would probably call it. It was weird having two movies melted together, and it didn't feel like those two really worked well together. It did at times, and at times it was a little disjointed, and it felt like Jackie Chan was doing things, but for no real good reason to further the plot other than, enacting his revenge, which like you would want to see happen, but then we kept getting pulled away from that and put into the other things that were happening. So that was a bit strange. The acting from the two main characters, pretty solid, perhaps distracting, like I was saying before, for some reasons, but really solid for other reasons. I think overall I'd give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Like, it's a pretty solid movie, but not without its flaws.
That was very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the movie itself, I do like a movie that has elements of I don't really know where this is going, and for the most part, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Some parts were a little like, okay, this is how it's going to end. I thought that Mr. Chan and Mr. Brosnan were going to team up. That's kind of where my head was going. So when it didn't happen, I'm like, oh, sad.
I did think that might happen too.
Like a buddy cop.
Mhm.
He's the new Chris Tucker. That'd been cool. The acting was good. The ending was fine. The story was good. It was engaging. It was a 2-hour movie, but like there's a lot of action outside of action scenes. I would have liked to see more action scenes and less, Irish people complaining. But I gave the movie a 7 out of 10.
That's fair. It certainly wasn't boring. That's for sure. And yeah, like as you say, there was times where I wasn't 100% sure what was going on, and then other times fairly predictable. It was a strange mix.
Chat GPT thinks that one of the film's weaknesses was its uneven tone.
Right.
What do you think it gave out of 10? Chat GPT.
It probably gave it a 8 out of 10.
Ooh, 7.5. It can give 0.5s apparently.
Well, had I known that.
A classic revenge drama. The Foreigner.
It was. Yes, that makes sense.
All right, thank you, Jackie Chan, for that movie. I'm happy it was on Netflix. It was an easy watch.
Yes, that was nice.
I watched the ending of it today in my work truck as I was waiting. So
It was right on your phone.
Yeah.
Switch, maybe.
No, it was on the phone. I just downloaded it to my phone and watched it. It was great.
Nice.
All right, we'll just wait for you to finish yawning, and then you can tell us which direction you want to go for your movie, episode 60.
I will say that the movie we watched last week, The Faculty, has an actress that's in the movie. Well, one of the movies I want to pick. And it's a movie that came out in it came out in the year 2000. But there does seem to be some sort of discrepancy. Some sources say 1999, some say 2000.
Is it Gone in 60 Seconds?
It is not Gone in 60 Seconds, no. Who's in The Faculty that's in that movie?
Well, I don't know. I feel like a Jordana Brewster might be.
No Jordana Brewster. It's the woman who played
the principal.
No. What was her name? I don't know, but her name is Clea Duvall.
Right, the old teacher.
Clea Duvall is not the old teacher.
Oh, she's the lesbian one that wasn't actually a lesbian.
You're right. I would say this movie has that makes sense. In the description of the movie, the word lesbian is used.
Is it Girl Interrupted?
It is not Girl Interrupted. So this is one of the movies I want to pick. So I'll leave you with that much information. The other movie I want to pick is like a movie you would watch through like Criterion. It's like an artsy movie, and it's really old. So that was the movie I originally was going to pick, and then I discovered this movie, and I'm like, I'd probably rather watch that one, but I will ultimately leave it up to Josh, and maybe put this one that's more of an artistic movie on the back burner, if you will.
Oh, I'm not picking your movie for you.
Okay, but like if I were to ask you what kind of mood you're in, a more artsy
She is in Girl Interrupted. I didn't even Google it.
That's crazy. Hopefully that movie comes up on Box Office Game. You'll get that one right. You seem to be on a roll.
So, okay, she was in a lot of movies in 1999/2000.
Mm-hmm. But
no. So I mean, you have to pick your movie.
Okay. I'll probably pick the not artsy one. I'll save that for another time.
Who's in the artsy one?
It's from like 1928. It's like not going to be anyone we know. I think 1928 anyway.
Is it called Lonesome?
No.
Is it called Speedy?
No.
Is it called The Cameraman?
No.
The Circus?
No.
The Last Command?
No.
The Passion of Joan Arc?
Yes.
Oh
I think we'll save that one for another time.
my god, it looks so artsy.
And next week we're watching But I'm a Cheerleader.
Okay, so that is the one that I have up here.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. The cast looks amazing, though.
Yep, it does.
It's on Prime.
It says it is. It's one of those things that says it's on Prime, but really isn't. You know?
Oh, it's on Stars or whatever.
Mm-hmm. RuPaul is in it.
RuPaul is in it, yeah. Melanie Linsky from Yellow Jackets, The Show You Hate, is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Williams from Brokeback Mountain is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Natasha Lyonne from I think she was in like a teen movie of some sort. Oh, she must have been in American Pie. I mean, 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Let's see. I didn't look to see what the foreigner got.
Worse than that.
Well, 7 out of 10.
Oh, on IBD. Yeah. On.
I don't even look at Rotten Tomatoes anymore.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Okay, how did you come up with this one?
It was from Northern Lion.
Oh,
He was playing, he does the dolls.
yeah.
And one of them is like the Rotten Tomatoes game. And it's like it's like a 4-word movie from 1999. And he like got it on the second round. And he's like, it wasn't even a movie he'd seen before. And I'm like, what is that movie? And I looked it up. I'm like, that looks interesting. I want to watch that. Because I had never even heard of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it has a decently high Rotten Tomato score for a movie like this is promising.
It is. And it is also at the rental place has it, I'm pretty sure.
The one that you can't name because it's ours now.
Yeah.
But I am a cheerleader, so we're going back to like it's like The Faculty, but not.
Yeah.
And then we'll do But I'm a Cheerleader for episode 60, which is wild. And then the week after, I'm not around. So we'll have to skip a week, and then I'll come back strong with episode 61, whatever that will be. I'm going to Oregon. Okay. What were you doing the weekend before Christmas 2016?
The weekend before Christmas 2016. I have no idea. What were you doing?
I went to the movies, and I stood in front of the big board of movies to pick. And I'm like, wow, these are all heavy hitter movies. There were 2 Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 Warner Brothers movies, and one from Paramount. And I was like, wow.
The Disney movies are going to probably be like an animated one and like a Marvel one. I think Disney owned Marvel by then.
The Disney movies are 1 and 2. Over 300 million combined in just 5 weeks.
Okay, that's a lot.
We'll do those. We'll do those last.
Okay.
We'll start at 5 again. This is Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
$200 million in 5 weeks.
Okay.
Eddie Redmayne is the first actor.
Oh. Okay. It's probably um Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. I was thinking the Danish Girl or the other one he's in when he plays Stephen Hawking, but those are probably too old. The original Fantastic Beasts is
There's no way the Danish Girl made 200 million in the box office. There's no way.
no. You're correct. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Okay.
I've only seen that one. I haven't seen the other two.
I've seen the second one, but not the third.
Johnny Depp, problem. The second movie, number 4 here, the other Warner Brothers movie, only made $7 million in its first week, and that's where we are. It's first week, but Will Smith is the number 1 actor. $7 million Warner Brothers movie, Will Smith, 2016. First thing that comes to mind, which I don't think is correct, is the original Suicide Squad,
Right.
but that wouldn't be Warner Brothers, I don't think.
No, and it would have made more than that.
Maybe it wasn't very good.
Wasn't very good, but it made money for sure. What was he doing then? He was in that movie about like football or something.
Right, Concussion.
Oh, Concussion.
Do you remember any other actors in that movie?
No.
Edward Norton is the second actor.
Okay.
Something tells me it's not Concussion.
Why?
But
Why wouldn't it be?
well, I don't know. It's Edward Norton and Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet's the second or the third one.
I think you should try Concussion. We got 10 guesses.
Okay. I'll try Concussion, but you're going to be embarrassed. It's not Concussion.
Okay, what's the
It's
tagline?
We are all connected. It's a drama romance. This is not going to help you, but the plot is retreating from life after a tragedy. A man questions the universe by writing to love, time, and death. Receiving unexpected answers, he begins to see how these things interlock and how even loss can reveal moments of meaning and beauty. It's not animated.
I have no idea. This is probably some movie I've never heard of in my life.
We're giving up, and it's called Collateral Beauty.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Me neither.
Okay. The third movie, Paramount Pictures, in its second week, $30 million,
Okay.
starring Jason Bateman.
Okay.
Second actor, Olivia Munn. Third actor, TJ Miller.
So a comedy.
Yes, it is a comedy. Confirmed.
I don't watch a lot of comedies. I've probably never heard of this. You got any ideas?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think so. So remember, this is Christmas weekend almost.
Right.
The tagline is "Party like your job depends on it." There's a movie called like Office Party or something, but I thought Jennifer Aniston was in it. The Office, no, it's like something like that. Party. The Office. That's not giving me anything.
Maybe it doesn't start with the. Maybe it's just Office Party.
Well, I'm gonna reveal hints, and I'm gonna give up. And it's called Office Christmas Party. Well, you know what? We're close enough.
We'll count that as a get. Nice get.
Thanks. Okay, so now the second Walt Disney movie here. This is the one in its fourth week. It's made
Give us the
162 million.
give us the genre first.
Adventure, comedy, family, animation.
Animated movie from 2016. Around Christmas. Would it be one?
The first actor, I'm not going to tell it. Like the first actor and the second actor gave it away for me.
Okay.
I know what it is. Um,
I'll start going through my thought process and see if I get there.
okay.
If it's coming around Christmas, immediately I want to think it's Frozen or Frozen 2. It would have to be Frozen 2, I think, right?
I think Frozen 2 maybe came out a little bit later.
Okay. But it's not a Frozen movie based off what you're giving me now. So maybe it's Coco?
No, Coco is a
That's from
little
like
bit too
2019
late.
or something.
Yeah,
Okay, I think I know. It's Moana, isn't it?
it is Moana. The
Dwayne
first
Johnson.
actor, well, the second actor is Dwayne Johnson, but the first actor was like, I've never heard of this person before, but it was a name, like a Hawaiian name.
Right.
The ocean is calling.
Now
Never seen it.
I think we're gonna have a hard time with this. It's gonna be a Marvel movie, but like the order of the Marvel movies gets so mixed up for me. We'll be able to tell like with the first actor probably.
Do you want to make a guess before I reveal the first actor, which I have not yet?
Okay, 2016 Marvel movie. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy came out 14. And then after that, you start going to maybe try Civil War.
Ooh, yeah, maybe the Civil War, but I'm thinking like Winter Soldiers because it's Christmas time.
Hmm.
Um, a Civil War is that Captain America?
Yeah.
It's not Civil War.
Okay. Do you want to try the Winter Soldier?
Yes,
That sounds like it's about the right time. Although if I were to guess, that would probably be like 2015. But
it's not the Winter Soldier.
okay.
So thank you everybody for listening to us just hanging out.
Yeah, this is a long episode, but I'm sure you're asleep by now anyway.
Do you want the first actor?
Okay.
Felicity Jones. Who? Yeah, true.
What? I don't know who that is.
The genre is action, adventure, science fiction.
Right.
I don't know who Felicity Jones is either. So it's not like
Okay.
it's not a main Marvel movie.
Is it like?
It wouldn't be Ant-Man.
No. It probably would give him Paul Rudd first billing on that one. But like, what else is there? Who's the second one?
Diego Luna. It's not animated.
What the crap?
Alan Tudyk.
So maybe this isn't. What's the tagline?
A rebellion built on hope. So this is a Star Wars movie?
I guess it. Oh.
But that
It could be. Is it like Rogue One?
because it wouldn't be like the Han Solo movie.
No. It's probably Rogue One.
It is Rogue One.
I feel stupid. I forgot that Star Wars is also a Disney thing now.
Well, I mean, the odds are it was a Marvel movie because isn't that kind of when they started bringing stuff out?
Yeah.
Or is that too early?
I feel. Well, in my defense, okay, I feel like I need to defend myself right now because Greg and
Yep.
Ben are like enormous Star Wars fans. So I don't pay attention to like the names of actors for the most part.
Right.
And so when you said Felicity, whatever you said,
Felicity Jones.
yeah, that one, that does not make me think Star Wars. I don't know. I was like, I don't know who the heck that is. I didn't know any of the people you said. I just know like the movie. I don't know the names of the actors. But then I pieced it together.
Captain America's Civil War did come out in 2016.
So that was a good guess.
It was April though, not December.
Okay. Well, I got the right year. I was on the right track in terms of year.
Yeah, Rogue One, pretty good.
And people,
We haven't really been doing the points, but you got 300 points.
what's our percentile? Does it say?
Oh,
Too late for that?
ninth percentile.
Oh, Jesus, that's terrible.
Well, yeah, I did, press a lot of buttons.
Okay, well,
Office Party kind of screwed us. Office Christmas Party.
this is the podcast you come to listen to people talk about movies that just know nothing about movies, apparently.
Well, when we own the movie store, and then we'll have like movie screenings. It'll be the podcast movie. We'll just, watch it like a Friday night or something. Get people to come in, pay $5, and then we can talk about it, or even just do it Wednesday. I mean, if we both quit our jobs, we can just do whenever. Because
I had a moment one time. I was in a record store, and the owner was like, we were talking about music, like from lots of like world music and artists from the 60s and 70s and all that. And then he like brings up a band from like the 90s to 2000s, like insanely popular, and apparently had absolutely no idea who it was. And he's like,
Radiohead.
it wasn't Radiohead, but anyway, he was like, it's kind of like endearing that you don't know who that is at all. There's a part of like there's some charm there in terms of, I don't know, not paying attention to, I don't know. So maybe there's some charm in that we don't know everything there is to know about movies. We don't claim to, I suppose.
Maybe I didn't even watch a movie this week.
It's totally possible. I definitely watched The Sting though. I'd
Al
recommend.
Pacino.
I'd recommend that one actually. It's a little different but good. It was on Amazon. No, it was on. Oh wait, yeah, Prime. It was on Amazon Prime.
Wow, this episode started as one where I'm like, man, it's gonna be tough to get to 50 minutes, but now it's gonna be tough not to get to an hour.
Yeah. 1973. So The Sting came out 50 years ago. I think of all the movies that have won the Oscar for Best Picture in the last 50 years, I think I've seen like 43 of them or something. There's only a few I haven't seen.
We watched the last one for the podcast.
The last one for the podcast? Oh.
Yeah,
oh.
the last
the
one.
most recent one. I see what you're saying. Yes, we did.
Speaking of Jackie Chan,
Mm-hmm.
he's not in it.
No, but he was supposed to be, or something.
Well, he was, supposed to be. Paul Newman died in 2008.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Right? You hope they do you hope they enjoyed?
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the last episode that we did, the faculty. When I posted it to Instagram, it got like an insane amount of people who saw it that weren't following us. So if
Right.
you're not following us, follow us. But they saw it, but they didn't really listen. So I don't know what that means. So give it a listen. The faculty did actually pretty garbage, listen wise. So just give this one a listen. Well, you're already listening, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Waterworld's, like it did great, and then the faculty is doing terrible. People love Waterworld. Anyways, episode 60 coming next week. But I'm a cheerleader, they say.
Episode 60, just like the amount of minutes this episode is going to be.
And probably the amount of episode time that the next episode will be 60. We should do that. Just every minute per podcast number.
I don't see how that could go wrong.
when we get up to like 120.
Yeah.
I don't have 2 hours for this. We gotta go to bed.
Okay, bye, Josh, and
Okay, bye.
everyone.